Hi, my name is Kai Armstrong. I'm the product manager for the editor group in the create stage of the DevOps lifecycle here at GitLab. And I wanted to talk about what's going on with the Web IDE and then how that relates to kind of the latest iPad release. So iPadOS release. So iOS 13.4 was released, I think a couple weeks ago at this point. And with it, it came more keyboard support for the iPad as well as mouse support, which is new. And so I thought I would just sort of see how that works on my iPad. I've got a iPad 12.9-inch iPad Pro with the Apple keyboard. And then I've got a basic Bluetooth mouse here that I've had around for a while. I've already paired those things just so the mouse is sort of set up already with the iPad. And I'm gonna go ahead and share the iPad screen now. So we'll start this. Do this. Click a couple things. All right. So now we get the iPad screen up, and I've already logged into GitLab just to sort of make this a little bit easier. So one of the first things I'm noticing is that the scroll wheel on my mouse works, which is nice. I did change this in a previous attempt to just mess with this. I did change the scrolling direction. I don't enjoy the natural scrolling stuff like you do with touch when I'm using a mouse. So I changed this just to make my mouse wheel work more like it would on a regular computer. I'm gonna go ahead and open my public test project. This is a project I've got that has, actually this is not the project that I wanted. We'll go back. You can see on the screen my mouse is moving around here. It's got a kind of a big dot cursor, which is fairly interesting. All right, this is the project we wanted. So this is the one-page project. I've used this before when going through things with the Web IDE. It's a simple static site. And so we'll just open this in the Web IDE and kind of see how this goes. And so previously in the Web IDE with the iPad, there had been some like navigation challenges because there was no mouse. It was hard to navigate because touch is hard to get in between characters. It was hard to do that. There were also issues with like tabs and spaces not working properly, and just all sorts of things. And so I'm just kind of generally curious to see how this looks now in iPadOS 13.4 and how this works. And so kind of one of the things I'm noticing here is that my cursor changed when it's inside of the text area to a straight line from the dot, the more touch looking item over here. And so that's pretty good. It looks like I can easily put that anywhere that I need to. We're also sort of respecting this down on the bottom. Keyboard's not popping up because I'm obviously attached to my regular keyboard here. And so maybe we'll just change some text on this page. And this is the main nav. Oh, so this is interesting. It's not actually scrolling. It's scrolling the browser window. I'm not able to scroll the text window with my mouse. So let me try and touch scroll that. So touch scrolling works. It's doing a little bit of bouncing where it's moving the whole browser window and then moving. Yeah, and then moving the content in the frame. So that's probably not great. All right, I'm at least to an area where I can edit some content now. So let me just backspace all of that. We'll just say iPadOS 13.4 mouse preview. Yeah, keyboard navigation is working a lot better. I can use the arrow keys and sort of easily navigate around on the screen, as you can see right there. I'm just pushing some keys on there. Like I mentioned earlier, the mouse support is good, so we'll just change this to, yeah, I was able to easily click and highlight all of that, and I'll just change this to iPadOS. So that's all pretty good, working sort of as expected. Let me just go ahead and commit that and let's see what happens here. So this all pops up. This all looks good. Yeah, we'll just do a new branch, start a merge request. Scrolling down works. I can get to the commit button. And we'll click that with the mouse. We'll start a new merge request and just see how that goes. So let's just give this a title of, okay, iPad. This is one of those frustrations with Apple and their fields. I can't actually do a lowercase I very easily. And I can't tell if I'm in capital or lowercase on the keyboard because you don't have the screen. So yeah, maybe it's one word. Okay, we'll assign it to me. I'm able to click and scroll all this pretty easily. We'll go ahead and squash, submit the merge request. It looks like that's going through just fine. So that was easy enough. Oops, I seem to have clicked a keyboard shortcut. We'll open this back up in the Web IDE because I did want to check out a couple other things here. So we'll open this merge request back up. It's great. We can see the diff when we come back in. We'll go back into edit view. I'm going to try out the live preview. So we've had some issues with the live preview not generating a static assets anyways. I just sort of want to see what this looks like on my screen in terms of real estate and maybe how functional this might be. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So this button is pushed way up in the container. And actually a lot of the content even sort of appears to be missing. So almost like this entire frame is off. I click over here. Oh yeah, so I can scroll it. Yeah, that's really small. So it's not so much that this button is pushed up, it's that the browser window is being sized poorly for some reason. So I can scroll this with the mouse wheel, which is nice. But I don't know why the framing on it is so bad. So let me see if I can click and drag and make this wider. I can, which is good. So something's definitely wrong here. We'll have to take a look at that and see if maybe we're doing something that the iPad browser is not properly recognizing. So that's sort of unfortunate. I just want to check one more thing here. I want to try and edit this text. Oh, right. I'll have to scroll, do a little bit of jerky scroll there. And then let's just see if we can change this to iPadOS 13. So at least the live preview part is working properly in terms of flipping the content over on the right hand side. It's just not working properly in terms of the size of that container relative to the rest of this. So that's a little problematic. We'll have to open a bug for that and see what we can do to fix that. I also can't get back up to the top of the screen very easily. I'm having to touch to scroll to get to some places. Almost not like we don't quite detect the browser size properly to sort of frame this in, or maybe we've got a height mismatch here. It's sort of the Web IDE fits in the entire container, but I lose the top nav, which I don't normally experience in my web browser, which is just due to the height differences here. So maybe we can take a look at that to make sure we're framing this, and that might help. Sort of this jerky double scroll action, I think that's probably partially related there, in that the overall container is bigger than these inner containers, and so we can't quite figure that out. So let's take a look at that. Also, the lack of wheel scrolling in here is frustrating because I'm having to go back and touch. So we'll have to open an issue for that. It's likely that this is a Monaco related thing, potentially not something that we can do. We've seen that a lot with things in the iPad, is that they're typically related to details inside of Monaco and not necessarily anything that we can control on our side. So we'll maybe have to do a little bit more investigating there. I'll go check the Monaco issue tracker and see if there's other issues open. A lot of what we've done is kind of waited for these fixes to propagate down, and that's improved the Web IDE support. So we'll take another look at this and see how that looks. Otherwise, this is fairly functional. I think this gets, it makes it a little bit easier with a mouse and keyboard to sort of navigate to make these changes. The scrolling is definitely problematic. It doesn't, the precise character selection is nice, but I could do a lot of this just by touching, as I'm kind of doing now. So because the touch support's a little bit better, easier to deal with, I'd almost prefer to do that than use a mouse, since I have to kind of do that to scroll around anyway. So something we'll keep an eye on, I guess, there to see how that works. I think those are the only things I wanted to check out. If you are, stop this real quick. If you're using an iPad with the Web IDE, we'd love to hear kind of what your experiences are. What are the things you're looking for? Like I've mentioned, there's sometimes things we can't control that are out of our control, or that we have to look at Monaco for. But Certainly, if there's other things that you're doing in here that we can help improve on your day-to-day experiences, we'd be interested to hear. I'll drop a couple issues down below in the video, so you can leave some comments there. And if you have any questions or other feedback, please let us know. Thanks.